right, let's begin with our lead story of the day. Is a trip of 30 teachers to Finland to learn different teaching styles for government schools necessary or a junket? Should the Aam Aadmi Party government be allowed to make this expenditure? And is the LG within his constitutional rights to send back the file asking for a cost-benefit analysis? This is the issue at the heart of the latest tussle between the AAP and the LG. Matters have come to a head now with a fresh round of allegations and counter-allegations between the two sides. Here's what happened. The Delhi State Education Board wanted to send 30 teachers to a Finnish university. The idea was to train them for 5 days in a teacher training program, and the budget was sanctioned by the Delhi government. The Aam Aadmi Party government has now claimed that the proposal got stuck at LG Vinay Saxena's desk, who was asked for a cost-benefit analysis and whether such programs are available in India itself. The LG's office has clarified that they have not rejected the proposal as claimed, but have merely asked questions. Now, Chief Minister Kejriwal has called this unconstitutional.
3 सब्जेक्ट्स हैं, पुलिस, लैंड और पब्लिक ऑर्डर। संविधान में लिखा है कि ये तीनों सब्जेक्ट्स पे सारे निर्णय लेने का अधिकार एलजी साहब के पास है। इसके अलावा बाकी सारे सब्जेक्ट्स, शिक्षा है, स्वास्थ्य है, बिजली है, पानी है, सड़क है, बाकी सारे सब्जेक्ट्स दिल्ली सरकार, दिल्ली की चुनी हुई सरकार के दायरे में आते हैं। लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर को इंडिपेंडेंटली कोई भी निर्णय लेने का अधिकार नहीं है, ये संविधान पीठ में लिखा हुआ है। इसका मतलब जो दिल्ली के टीचर्स को फिनलैंड जाने से रोका जा रहा है, उसके ऑर्डर्स जो है वो इलीगल है, अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है। ऑर्डर अभी एलजी साहब को दिखाए। एलजी साहब कहते हैं ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट की राय हो सकती है। एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर हूं, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर किसी भी सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर किसी भी अफसर को कोई भी आदेश दे सकता है।
All right, now this attack has been coupled with protests outside the LG residence by Aam Aadmi Party leaders and teacher groups. Now, it's important to put this in context. The Delhi LG controls several departments, and the Delhi government needs permission from the LG before taking any decisions on key issues. Education seems to be one of them. So, is the LG's action interference? Is it unconstitutional as CM Kejriwal says, or is he well within his rights to ask these questions? To speak on this, I'm joined today by Vineet Goenka, spokesperson of the BJP. Dr. Piyush Joshi is joining us. He's a political analyst who is a supporter of the Aam Aadmi Party. And Nayan Parikh, educationist, is joining us on the show, because at the end of the day, the issue is about teachers getting training in Finland in primary schools. Do they need to or not? We need to ask that as well. Vineet Goenka, let's begin. You know, this is just one of the latest, isn't it, in the fights between the LG and the Aam Aadmi Party. Can you hear me clearly, Mr. Goenka? I seem to be losing your frame there.
I can, yes, of course.
All right, let's go ahead. So this seems to be one of the latest in a series of tussles. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. This seems to be the latest in a series of tussles between the LG and the Aam Aadmi Party, and it comes back to the same old thing. The LG is now stepping on the toes of an elected government and their will to do what they want for the people of the nation, of the city, in this case, Delhi.
Tamanna ji, Ram to you. I'm sorry if the frame is not coming properly, but if my voice is there, let me tell you the facts. LG is not encroaching in the rights of the Delhi government. I think the Delhi government has to understand one particular thing, and they have to answer this to the Delhiites. They are withering the hard-earned money of Delhiites today. I'll give you certain figures, and if I'm wrong, they can sue me. There are total 1,027 schools in Delhi government-run schools, which has, out of them, 698 does not have the science stream. I repeat, out of 1,000 schools, 700 does not have science stream, and 745 don't have principal. A school is run without a principal, 745 out of 1,027. There are 24,000 teachers' positions which are vacant, which they have not filled for last couple of years, even when we have done many representation. 22,000 teachers are on contract. They have not been permanent. They have not been done permanent there. Now, when you have this much of gap, We have to consider that particular part, or by obliging and spending money on few teachers so that they can speak your language. I think that will not be appropriate.
Mr. Vineet
Let me give you one more figure which your audience should consider.
You know what?
Today.
I appreciate that you've come prepared with these figures, but it's irrelevant to the debate. Even if it's a wrong decision, chuni hui sarkar hai. The voters will answer if they're making wrong decisions. Can an elected government be bypassed at every point? It might be the wrong decision. You in the opposition today as the BJP have every right to ask these questions.
Has the LG rejected their request? No, let me correct you. Tamanna ji, let me correct you. No, I am not even asking question. I am just submitting my say. We are not even objecting. We are only keeping it for consideration. LG1 has said it wants to study the file. It is not wrong for a constitutional position to study a file. They cannot just expect that they have submitted some file and then they come out and make nonsense. I'll give you some figures. And your own publication, Times of India, on 1st February 2019, they came out with a figure. Delhi school, 1,55,436 students failed. I repeat, 1,55,436 students have failed, out of which only 52,582 students were given re-admission. 1,02,854, मैं रिपीट करता हूं, 1,02,894 स्टूडेंट्स को उन्होंने अपने सिस्टम से बाहर फेंक दिया. क्या ये सामान्य जनता भी नहीं पूछ सकती है? मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी का स्पोक्स पर्सन के किस नाते से नहीं, मैं दिल्ली का एक रहवासी के नाते से सोचता हूं कि 1 लाख विद्यार्थियों का पूरा जीवन अधर में, you have thrown them to dungeons. कैसे लेना देना नहीं है? आप पैसे को बर्बाद कर रहे हो फॉरेन ट्रिप्स में और बच्चों का फीस नहीं भर रहे.
It is an elected government. Piyush Joshi.
नहीं, आपका टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया का रिपोर्ट है मैडम. मैं आपको टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया का दूसरा रिपोर्ट देता हूं. 2017-18 में.
Let Piyush Joshi respond to this. Let Piyush Joshi respond to this. They have LG is saying there is a statement today where LG is saying that I have not rejected the proposal. I am asking questions. Isn't he not within his rights to ask questions? And these are valid questions. What is the cost-benefit analysis? What are you going to gain out of this? The Chief Minister responded by equating it with soldiers on the border. He said, what is the cost-benefit analysis of the LG?
Why shouldn't we? We want, you started by introducing me as a supporter of AAP. Why do I support Aam Aadmi Party, right? Because of its health and education policies. These are the two core parameters on which I support Aam Aadmi Party. Rest everything comes secondary. So if you want to make a country number one, these teachers, why are they going? The BJP should understand they are going for the teacher mentor program. So they are going to learn certain things and then they are going to mentor the other teachers, in a similar manner. We can always argue till the cows come home about how do we do a cost-benefit analysis of an education system. I'm really, I'm amused. How is the LG going to determine the benefit? Benefit of an education policy, it takes a decade or 2 decades to come, these children are going to pass out from their schooling system, then they are going to get graduated, and then they are going to get admissions into a good postgraduate admission.
Piyush Joshi, let's 1 minute. Let's talk about this cost-benefit analysis and not till the cows come home.
How are you going to assess the benefit? What are your endpoints? 1, 2, 3, 4. Elaborate. How is the LG going to assess the benefit?
There are entire consulting firms whose only job in life is to do such things and create such spreadsheets. Every expenditure has a cost-benefit analysis.
Absolutely not a problem. So I want to know what is the spreadsheet. What have you determined? Okay, and which consultancy firm is the LG going to hire to do this cost-benefit analysis?
Delhi government has to hire because they are the ones who sent the proposal.
So if LG is so sacrosanct and he is such a saintly person, why the union government brought in the amendments to GNCTD Act? You tell me this, and it is amazing, and I have an objection with the initial introduction that you said that is it a junket? So junkets we have traditionally seen, the ministers going on international trips, the politicians going on international trips, the MLS going on international trips, doing nothing.
They asked them also, sir.
So, yeah, precisely. You ask them, but teachers going for a mentoring program, I'm amazed. What kind of India
there is
do we want to build
you
here?
need not be amazed. Nothing is above board. No one is above question. That is the issue. You are invited here to fight your point of view, but nothing is above question. You cannot say, I'm amazed you are asking me questions. I'm sorry,
No,
Mr. Joshi.
I'm amazed.
It is a
I'm
question,
amazed
it
that-
will be answered. The LG is asking, you can come out and say he doesn't
LG
deserve
will ask
to
questions
ask
at
that
everything.
question.
You know, and then
One minute.
they will furnish
Okay,
this
Mr.
data
Goenka coming
that
in.
so and so,
Yes,
so
Mr.
and so, so
Goenka
and so.
coming in.
You obstruct
Mr. Goenka
decision
coming
at
in.
every point.
If you are claiming that
Yeah.
30 teachers for
So, Mr. my
5 days,
friend,
a trip to Finland in
Mr.
5
Piyush,
days are
yeah,
going to
let me-
learn something new,
Tamanna ji, can I come in,
taxpayers
please?
have a right to ask what are they going to learn and how is it going to benefit us. When you're spending the exchequer's money, you have an accountability for every last paisa.
Tamanna
Yes,
ji,
Do
Mr.
an
Goenka.
audit, right? CAG
if
does
the
an audit.
Aam
Tamanna
Aadmi
ji,
Party
na.
1 minute.
representative...
Yes,
if-
Mr. Goenka.
Yeah, Tamanna ji, can I... gentlemen, I was listening to you peacefully. Yeah, if the Aam Aadmi Party representative or the sympathizer can please educate us and whoever is watching this particular television debate, why 745 principals were not appointed? The reason cited is they don't have funds. Why there are not schools like science schools? 698 out of 1,000 schools. 70% are deprived of this. These are basic questions. And let me give you one more figure. Sir, 6 crore 77 lakh 17,833 crore rupees. 6.77 crore rupees. And then in the year 21-22, 20 crore 69 lakh rupees were spent. And in the year 22-23, which is currently going on, 7.31 lakh rupees was 7.31 crore were spent. A total of 34.78 crore rupees were spent on lawyers to defend for the decisions taken by the government. So this government takes wrong decision, spends money of hard-earned money of Delhiites for their whimsies, and then when it is
They
being
keep
challenged,
winning, Mr.
they
Goenka.
spend money on the lawyers. And who are these
party
lawyers?
has not been able to displace the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. I'm going to turn around and tell you what the BJP says in every debate, that the voters will decide, and the voters have liked all our
Madam,
policies.
winning
That's why
defeat is a separate case.
voting
But
us back.
for the sake
They
of
will
the
turn around
students,
and
for
say
the
the same
sake of
thing.
the hard-earned
he
money,
mentioned
they
about
have to
legal
answer us
expenditure.
one
They will turn around
thing.
and say
They
the
have to
same
answer
thing.
to the citizens of Delhi.
Okay.
What is the mistake of these 1 lakh students who were thrown out of the educational system? This is your own report, ma'am. Times of India report.
I want to get
1 lakh students been thrown out.
1 minute, but you know, you can't just quote a
You
report
don't
out of
consider them
context.
as
There is a
human
context
beings?
to this discussion. There is a context to
इंसान
this
नहीं है क्या?
discussion. 1 minute.
And
There
who
is
has
a
said that they
context to
can't
this
go for
discussion.
educational trips? They can do that. Nobody has questioned that. But let there be any justification.
Okay,
Dada,
I want to get
you
I want to get the perspective of someone who knows this sector. Nayan Parikh is with us. We've invited him on the show. Mr. Parikh, thank you for joining in. And I will appeal to the other panelists to listen to your point of view calmly and coolly. Because, you know, since this was all about teachers and the education of teachers, at the heart of the issue is this. This tussle keeps on happening over various issues. Over here, it's about training teachers. I want to understand what is the value of these kind of programs for something like 5 days. To those who are not from the field, it might be difficult to fathom what 30 teachers will learn in Finland in 5 days, which will make a material difference. Can you give us your point of view on this? And is this common, these kind of training programs?
Sure, Tamanna. I feel that we must look at how this would add value to Indian education. And before that, I would request both the parties to not make this a political issue. Let education for children, for God's sake, be above politics. Which means that I would like to submit to Goenka ji that if this was also a BJP government, elected government in Delhi, would you still do that? Would you do it where the governor and the chief minister are from the same party? And as you said earlier, that this is an elected government, let them function. You can review it later. I would also think that these kind of programs help because when IIM Ahmedabad started, where I kind of studied, our faculty members were sent to Harvard Business School for their training. And their teachers came to IIM Ahmedabad for kind of imparting what they know. So I feel that these kind of interaction always helps. New pedagogy always helps. And teachers going for 5 days would begin a process.
Can I ask you
Then
1 minute,
they need to
Mr.
stay
Nayan
there for a
Parikh,
very long time.
just 1 minute. I just want to understand,
Yes.
when you all did these programs at IIM Ahmedabad, was there a cost-benefit analysis that was created internally?
Yes, I think but please understand that it
No,
was
I
a
want to
step
understand
in
the
the beginning.
process, because here the question today is not whether they should go
No,
or not go.
Of
It
course.
is can you in advance understand
Yes.
what the value of the expenditure is. Because even for an IIM Ahmedabad, any program will come with an expense. There will
Yes.
be part of an annual budget, etc. So
Yes.
would a cost-benefit analysis be, asked for from
Yes.
the assigning authority?
I feel that it is an important part because you are spending money. And at IIM Ahmedabad or here, I think it is important that we give some kind of cost benefit. I'm not denying it. But was that done to stall the decision? I was given to understand that in December, out of these 30, some teachers were to go and remaining were to go in March. Now let us understand as to how long the LG's office took to even raise these objections. Was it done with an intention to kind of delay a decision, or was it really done to get the necessary information? And I am saying that as an elected government, let them decide their priorities, let them do their own work. And as you also said, that let people decide and vote when they actually decide as to whether this government
Mr.
did the
Goenka,
right thing or
okay, Mr. Parikh, I want to thank you for your very, calm and balanced kind of view. So two things that have come out of this, and I request everyone to please give short answers because I have a limited time on this discussion. Mr. Goenka, first to you. What is the intent? It helps to go for teacher training programs. You have a learned educationist who's saying this. And yes, there is always a cost-benefit analysis. But he asked you a pointed question. Would this have happened if there was a BJP government in Delhi?
So I would like to humbly submit to the educationist who is there on your panel. Of course, yes. Any party, irrespective of the party, there has to be a public scrutiny and accountability of the expenses been done. I will also like to humbly submit to him, you go to any corporate, you go to any place where there is something called as governance, there would be a learning metrics indexes. When I would send my team members, my team which I am controlling, I would know that what will be the index appealing to them, how much benefit they will take versus the cost. Now here, we are not talking about the merits of the particular thing. We are just simply, the LG has said, let me consider what is going on. ये तो क्या है, सुबह उठ के सोचते कि हम इस तरह से लोगों को oblige करेंगे और आगे जाएंगे. And number two, when you are in a public domain, you have to understand the priority. Even at our whole home, when we have limited funds, we have, madam, let me complete this 30-second very important part. When we are at home and we have limited funds, we do something called as priority. What is first priority has to be done first, and then you go to the second priority. First priority is to have 745 principals. हजार में से 745 स्कूल में principal नहीं है, teacher नहीं है. Madam, would you tell that the government will not have teachers, but the few teachers who are there sponsored their own people.
But उनको खराब अच्छा काम करने दिया जाना चाहिए, वो सवाल है. Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. Mr. Joshi, just very quickly in 10 seconds. Cost benefit analysis happens everywhere. No one in any kind of a governance system spends 1 rupee without an accountability of it. It's
Nobody is
not a
denying
bolt
that.
out of the
Nobody is
blue
denying that,
to ask for a
Tamanna.
cost benefit analysis.
Nobody is denying that. What I'm trying to say here, that the government, like we started with the same argument, that except for public order, law and policing, the Supreme Court has given directives that rest all the matters are going to be decided by the elected government. The finance department comes under the government of NCT of Delhi. The education department comes under the NCT of Delhi. And the LG's intent is singular. He has to stall whether it is the electric buses purchases or the other policy matters. So, and that's why the GNCTD Act was, amended. And it is very clear that these kind of questions you can't raise, otherwise, which Mr. Goenka is raising, if you're not stalling things, because education, the only government in the country which is spending 25% to 30% of its budget.
So it's about intent at the end of the day. Now, what is the intent behind asking those questions is going to be difficult to divine. I have to end it here. I'm out of time on this story. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us. At the end of the day, if the intent